Hi, welcome back to my channel. Let's get started. What are we going to learn today? We're going to identify and troubleshoot our network. First, we're going to try to find our private IP address. It resides in the LAN or local area network. Then we're going to try to find our public IP address. It resides in the WAN wide area network. And then we're going to do some troubleshooting by using the commands ping, tracert, and nslookup. So you go to your start button, you type cmd and then enter. Then you get your command prompt. Mine pops up in another screen, so let's drag it here. So, first command that we're going to use is the command for finding our private IP address. The command is ipconfig. Okay, then you see my IP address. This is my private IP address. This is my subnet mask. And this is my router IP address, also known as default gateway. In my LAN or local area network. Why wireless LAN? Because my computer is connected via wireless connection. If you want more information, we should type ipconfig /all. Then you have more information. For example, our MAC address. Our MAC address, can find it here. Physical address, this is our MAC address. If you want to double check it, just use the command get MAC /v. And then my wireless connection, you can see it here. This is the same. This is the same as this one. Okay, so we have so much information here. If you want to clean your screen, just use CLS. CL stands for clear, S stands for screen, and then it's gone. So what did we do? We found our private IP address and our MAC address in my LAN or local area network. Now we're going to find our public IP address. It resides in the WAN. WAN stands for wide area network. So that command is curl ifconfig.me. I get a public IP address version 6. Why? Because my internet provider, my internet service provider, my ISP, transitioned to version 6. We didn't fully transition to IP6 protocol. We're taking a dual stack approach. That means that our internet service provider runs both IPv4 protocol and IP6 protocol. In my case, if I want to find my version 4 IP address, public IP address, I have to use -4. So that's my public IP address version 4. If you just use this and you get your version for public IP address, it just means that your internet service provider didn't transition to version 6. So that's it for our public IP address that resides in the WAN, wide area network. Okay, let's clear the screen by using CLS. So it's gone. So we identified our network. What are we going to do now? We're going to troubleshoot. First, we're going to see if our network has access to the internet. If you want to find out, just type ping 8.8.8.8. So you're pinging DNS operated by Google. DNS stands for Domain Name Server. If it replies, you have access to the internet. If it doesn't reply, you do not have access to the internet. If you don't have access to the internet, he will give you a timeout. Instead of a reply, he will give you a timeout. Okay? So, our first command of troubleshooting is ping. Our second one will be treecert. Let's first of all clear the screen. So CLS, clear screen. So we have access to the internet. Now, the other command we can use for troubleshooting is treecert. You trace your route. So let's type treecert. And what are we going to trace? We're going to trace the domain name google.com. And then you see here, it starts tracing. This is its destination. Here you can see he gets out of my network and then hops to a router. Router 2 doesn't give it access. Router 3 doesn't give it access. Router 4 doesn't give it access. Router 5, 6, 7, and 8 granted it access. Because my router talks in IPv6 protocol, you can see that the routers who understand IPv6 protocol will answer, and they answer in IPv6 protocol, also known as IP address version 6. Router 9 doesn't give it access. Then 10, 11 granted it access. So he came from the source and he wants to get to the destination. And the destination is this address. So we should wait till he gets there. We're going to get there. Don't worry. So the router 12 till 20 didn't let it go through. So router 21 is its destination. So that's the IP address of our Google domain name server or Google DNS. So why did I blur some of my addresses? The first router gives away my ISP information. Router 5 and 6 gives away in which country I live, so I blurred them. Router 7, 8, 10, and 11 gives away that I'm from Europe, but I'm not worried about that because Europe is big, so I didn't blur them. And also those high performance routers are called Google's Core Backbone routers. The destination IP address at router 21 is the nearest Google server. Its prefix gives away the local edge node, which is in my country, and I'm just not comfortable with that. So I also blurred that. To double check, the other command that we're going to use is NS, stands for DNS, look up. What are we going to be looking up? The Google DNS. So Google, that's the domain name of Google, so domain name server. Google.com. Because the source talks in IP address version 6, he will answer in version 6. And you can see here, he doesn't only answer in IP6, but also in IP4. In IP address version 4. This is a beautiful example. This is an example of dual stack approach. If you look through those addresses, you can find your destination address amongst those addresses here. Google has multiple DNS servers. Okay, let's clear the screen by typing CLS. So that's it for today. So what did we learn? In the first half, we identified our network. And then the second half, we troubleshooted our network. Which commands did we use? In the first half, ipconfig for private IP address in our LAN. Then curl ifconfig.me for a public IP address in our WAN. Then for troubleshooting, in the second half, ping, tracert, and then last but not least, NS lookup. So ping, tracert, and then NS lookup. That's it. Let's minimize this. So that's it for today. Please don't forget to comment, share, like, and subscribe. Have a nice day. Bye.